Say hi to your mom. Hi, Colleen.
Alright, go ahead and walk. I've got a new lens.
I forgot to use it. Colleen.
Oh, you already had it.
I bought this and forgot to use it. Well, now I can't get it open without scissors.
So
it's for the flip.
I didn't know they had different lenses.
For the flip, it's a magnetic one, just like you would buy for your iPhone.
Cool.
That's what I said. And then I forgot to use it.
Huh. I've never seen one of those. That's neat. Okay. So let's go ahead and make his walk a little bit bigger. Yeah, like that. Kind of rock with your seat a little more. Good. Look up. Don't look down. Not so much. Good. Yeah, when you tilt your head down to look at, I think you're just trying to look to see where he's at with his neck and his frame. But just try to glance down with your eyes more, because when you turn your whole head forward, it makes you lean your shoulders. You want to keep those shoulders nice and tall. Keep them marching. Bigger walk. There you go. Each time you ask him to get a little bigger in that walk, he does right away. He's pretty prompt in listening to you. But then about 10 or 12 strides later, he sort of starts fizzling a little bit, getting a little lazy. So you have to stay after him, try to be, very aware of when he's starting to slow down, and then push him right back forward into a little longer, more forward stride. Again, a little bit more. Bigger the better. Bigger the walk, the better. Yeah. A lot of times when you go from your free walk to your medium walk in the test, he and a lot of other horses do this also. They tend to want to lose a lot of the impulsion, a lot of the forwardness of the walk. In the free walk, you usually get a pretty good swingy forward walk, but then when you gather those reins, a lot of horses just assume, okay, that means I can shut down a little bit. But you want him to still keep marching nice and forward, still taking big steps. The only difference is going to be a little more collection, because you're putting him a little more on the bit as you go into the medium walk versus the free walk. Am I in the way when she
Oh, no. Nope, you're not in the frame.
There you go. Alright, so let's go ahead and put him on up to a working trot. Well, that was good. Right from the start, he was nice and forward. And I'd always rather have a horse be a little too forward and have to bring him back a little than to have one you're constantly having to push on, when you're showing anyway. When you're pleasure riding, it's sort of nice to have one that's a little on the lazy side, but when you're showing, and especially in dressage where you need fairly prompt transitions, you don't have a lot of time to make your transitions, you want him to be giving 100% all the time. So as soon as you ask him to go forward, you want an instant response, not that delayed response that sometimes he'll do that to you after he gets a little worn out, after you've been riding for a while. And I suspect you might experience some of that this weekend on these hotter days. The first couple of classes, he's probably going to be really fresh and forward. And then as the day goes on, he might get a little more sluggish. So you'll have to alter your riding as the day goes on. You might have to get a little more intense with your cues as the day wears on. Okay, this is looking good. So let's go ahead and do a couple loops. Remember what the loops are? Where you go, like say from K, and then come toward the quarter line, and then back to H. So you turn right at K, turn toward the quarter line, and then when you're across from E, turn back left to H. Yeah, just like that. Let's do a couple of those, 2 or 3 of those. Do it down the next long side too. So this is just making sure that he's following the bit nicely both directions. When you pick up the right rein, he's turning right. When you pick up the left rein, he's turning left. Now there you didn't get close enough to me over here. You never actually got him turned to the left with his neck on that last one. You kind of leg yielded it instead. You kept a right bend and pushed him to the left off your right leg. Yeah, he almost did the same thing again there. Make sure when you go to turn back to the rail that you actually bring his head and neck back to the left. Because it's not a leg yield. In a loop, you're not leg yielding. You're just turning. So turn his head left. Yeah, good. And then because you run out of space at the end of the arena there, you're trying to get all the way back to the rail, back to H. And sometimes if he's a little forward, you might not have time to get him to H before he reaches the corner. So you'll just have to adjust your speed a little bit. Slow him down a little bit if you think you're not going to make it. So turn right. And now when you're turning left, if you don't think you're going to make it over here close to me, slow the trot down to give yourself some more time. Get even closer to me next time. In fact, let's do this. Next time when you're coming back toward me, I want you to halt right in front of me with his head basically right in front of this stool. And he should be on an angle where his head is facing me and his haunches will be inside because you will have been coming from the quarter line. Yeah. So now when you turn back toward me, aim for the stool and then just halt, facing just like that. Halt. Yeah, now walk all the way up here. Just like that. Keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. Good. Okay, now turn right and continue. Now see if you can get there in the trot next time, right to that spot. Yeah. And this is basically just an exercise to get you deeper in your corners, because if you can get him deeper into this turn after a loop, it's going to be much easier to keep him deep in the corner when you're coming just right off the rail. It's much more challenging out of the loop to get deep in the turn than it is on the rail. So
yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So if you can get this, when you're on the rail, it'll be a breeze. All the way over here, all the way over. Yes, like that. That's what you got to do.
Good job.
Do that every time. Now I know what happens. You get close to me over here, and he's going kind of forward. And you're thinking, "Oh, I don't want to hit anything.
Run you over.
Don't want to run anyone down or have the horse lose balance." So that's where you can adjust the speed a little if you need to. If you think at that pace it's going to be too hard to navigate this corner, go ahead and just slow him down a little bit. Because right now the top priority is just getting to the corner. Yeah, and inside leg, no outside leg. That outside leg was bouncing on him just a little. You want that outside leg to be very quiet, and he should only feel the inside leg. So as soon as he feels a little more outside leg, he's thinking turn to the right then, because he's going to want to get away from that outside leg. That was a nice corner, good. And this corner here should be the best one, because you're just right on the track all the way leading up to it. Get deep. Oh no, you turned too early. You actually ask him to turn there. Don't ask him to turn until his nose is right about on that wall. So just go straight here, and then straight down the line of stalls. And literally wait to the last possible second before you turn back into your loop at the end of the stalls. All the way to the end. All the way to this corner. Do not turn. Don't turn. Don't turn. Don't turn. Don't turn. Don't turn. Now turn. Yes, like that. That's how you got to ride those corners. Ride all the way into them. Same thing. Oh, so you already started making them think turn back right. And then I said, oh, don't do that. And then you stop. But always get out as deep as you can to the turns. If you ever find that you've gotten too far over and you think the horse is going to step out of the ring, step over the chain or whatever, it's always easy to come back in. But if you get too far to the inside, it's not so easy to get back out. So always err on the side of riding a little too deep in the turns. Yeah. So now you should only feel right leg here, no left. That's better. Okay, now see, once you do that a few times, he's going to just do it on his own a little bit more. He's going to know what's expected, and that you're not going to let him get lazy and fall into the middle, and he'll just get out there on his own. Okay, go ahead and come back to a walk. That was good.